Boston Bruins Hockey on NESN is brought to you by Subaru of New England, by Dunkin' Donuts, America runs on Dunkin', by Toyota's official website for deals, buyatoyota.com, by Ace Ticket, by your New England Ford dealers, and by Mazda. The Bruins come in leading the Atlantic Division, 3 points ahead of the Tampa Bay Lightning. 182nd consecutive sellout at TD Garden for the Boston Bruins. Our national anthem.
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Tonight's starting goal is brought to you by your local New England Audi dealers. Experience Audi Quattro all-wheel drive tonight. Curtis McElhaney. His only win came more than a month ago. He is playing for his 5th team in his 6th NHL season, all but one in the West. Of course, now Columbus is in the East, but before we get too deeply into the geography lessons, we look at Chad Johnson in the Bruins nets. A pretty shiny record in his last couple of starts, a .191 goals against average, a .931 save percentage. Claude Julien's Bruins, as we said, are at the end of a really brutal stretch. Todd Richards' Blue Jackets beat Edmonton 4-2 in Columbus last night and then had to travel and got in about 12 hours after the Bruins had put their game to bed. The game is on. Bruins would like to finish this stretch of games in the same style they used against the Rangers.
Exactly right, Jack. And when you think about what is not in the lineup for Columbus, they should really take advantage of it. No Marian Gaborik. He's a bit of a game breaker. No Brandon Dubinsky. He's really, I don't know, heart and soul, I guess, is the best way to express it. Express it, if I could just express it. Nathan Horton hasn't played all year. Your 4th line center, one of your glue guys, McKenzie out, Jared Stahl, tough guy, drop the gloves, protect everybody in the lineup, and Boston should really be on the attack.
Ryan Murray, a terrific 20-year-old defenseman, wrists it through the slot. Brad Marchand takes the hit to move the puck forward. And Nick Foligno cuts off Johnny Boychuk at the red line. Boychuk up to Patrice Bergeron. He redirects it in deep. What do you like about number 27, his 20-year-old defenseman, Ryan Murray?
I like his hockey IQ, number one, and I like his low panic point. When you have those two elements to a game and you're just 19, 20 years old, think of how good you can be.
Really seems to think it through a couple of steps ahead of the point that he gets the puck. Here's Jerome McGinley working down in Murray's corner, and Murray keeps him on the perimeter and shoves it up the boards. Now here's Matt Calvert. The Bruins didn't see him last time. Swims around Hamilton, cuts to the middle, and Seidenberg on his belly sweeps it away with the shaft of the stick. Brick, it's not as if the Bruins took it easy on Seidenberg when he came back.
No, they did. Played almost 25 minutes, and some of that was because Chara had the 5-minute fighting major.
Hamilton long indirect for Krejci to Iginla, trying to trickle it middle. Krejci steals from Nikita Nikitin. Now Torrey Krug the shot. McElhinney makes the save. Got his stick tied up in the jousting between Dalton Prout and McGinley in front. McQuaid fires it all the way through to McElhinney. And again, Jerome McGinley making himself known around the slot.
Well, Dennis Seidenberg, after a few games out of the lineup with a lower body injury, came back, played almost 25 minutes against the Rangers, played in big situations when they needed quality defense. There's a great play right there. Calvert able to get body position with great effort to get in behind Hamilton to create that 2-on-1. And it was a well-timed slide by Dennis Seidenberg to break it up.
Kelly Smith and Soderberg. Soderberg taps back to McQuaid. He wraps the puck down through the corner. And Prout has it on the right side of McElhinney. Up the middle for Mark Letestu, the ex-Penguin, into Krug's skates. Soderberg to Krug. R.J. Umberger and Blake Como, the wings, on Letestu's line for the Blue Jackets. Kelly takes the one-hand shove pass from Soderberg. McElhinney risks the puck around the boards. McQuaid pitches in. Como battles it away. There's Kelly. Nice layering to Smith. The drive into Umberger's ankles. That knocks him off his skates. Krug finds Soderberg at the dot, but Soderberg can't control the hard pass. Kelly turns in the corner, flips it toward the goal. Letestu the center off the end boards. Now Soderberg working against Nikitin. Smith comes through a little bit of a wiggle, but Letestu steals the puck and lugs it out. Como extends and peels off at the Boston line.
A couple of almosts for Riley Smith. Had a real good scoring area in the offensive zone. Had his shot blocked, though. And a nice play by Umberger. And then right there, trying to make a short little pass. I believe it was Kelly he had in the slot area, and it just hit Letestu.
Gregory Campbell up ahead to Daniel Paille. He swipes the backhand down through the corner. Johnson reverses for Fedor Tutin. Tutin wearing the A on his sweater. Dubinsky, the captain, is on the injured list with a foot problem. Johnson up to the red line. Michael Chaput poked away by Seidenberg, and the Bruins flip the puck in deep. Sean Thornton tries to seal it off. Johnson guns it past him. Paille tries to get it middle. It rattles to Thornton at the post. Can't turn it to the front. Chara unable to pinch the puck against the boards. Jack Skilly had a nice goal last night from about there, and he keeps it alive. Thornton turns back up the boards. Works it away from Boone Jenner. Now here's Ryan Johansson, an exceptional talent, but he stick handles into too much traffic here. Marchand one-hands it into Murray's corner. Murray gets body position, gets a little bit of help from the hard-hitting Foligno. Jenner goes in, banging away, and the puck squirts to the far side.
That was a nice step up by Johnny Boychuk on Johansson just inside the defensive blue line.
Foligno flips one in on Chad Johnson. He angles it with a stick to the far side. Jenner down into Chara's corner, playing with the multicolored shiner. Chara shoves Jenner right off the puck. And Jenner goes 196 pounds. He's from Dorchester, Ontario.
I wonder if he grew up in a triple-decker.
Yeah, but he plays like he's from Dorchester, doesn't he? He does. He leaves some marks. But that's part of what makes that line go. Johansson's super talented in the middle between Foligno, and you remember him from his Buffalo days. He's a player. And Jenner on the other side. Here's McGinley. He's got Lucic far side just to Krejci with speed. And Lucic is a step ahead of the play.
Well, the Bruins really try to have as much back pressure as they possibly can, and because they're able to do that, you can see Bergeron, he's channeling Johansson towards the middle, and that's a nice read by Johnny Boychuk by chance to step up and not get caught flat-footed and not be able to be off the angle. Try in the offensive zone on a nice rotation. Kelly able to find Riley Smith. That's a good area to be shooting the puck. Talked about Riley Smith needing to shoot the puck more than he did earlier in the year. He's looking for his shot a lot more now. A little assist heavy in terms of his points, and his points are impressive.
He's got 17 with 5 goals and 12 assists. Letestu battling, and now he sets up in front of the goal. Krug with a big reach, tries to chip it past Umberger. McQuaid clears, but not out. Jack Johnson wrists it to the slot. Letestu wheels, but McQuaid was ready. Letestu gets the quick release, and Chad Johnson makes the save.
Just when you think the Bruins turning this puck over and going to start a breakout, they hit it right back to him. Letesto had a move to the backhand, and then he made a spinner rammer, and he put himself right back into the shooting lane for the Bruins defense to make a shot block. Good pass by Johnson. There's the move. He could have kept going, and now McQuaid's an advantage for him because now he can block that shot, but then they hand it right back to him.
It's a scrappy team, Columbus. And they have given the Bruins all they can handle twice. The Bruins winning a couple of narrow decisions. Dalton Prout with Chris Kelly providing pressure. Kelly goes hip to hip and the puck comes loose. Atkinson chops it for Nikitin. He trips over the apron of the goal. Nikitin wraps up Soderberg in the corner. Smith goes into the boards to try to loosen the puck. Prout digs it away for Anisimov. He whips the backhand up the board. Seidenberg blocks it. Smith tries to get the shot off, but Atkinson blocks it. Seidenberg through the seam. Smith trying to sweep the puck along. Nikitin, who's a big body, knocks him offline. Hamilton, the defenseman, all the way down to the end boards, tries a self-pass. Anisimov picks it off and sends it forward to Corey Tropp. Corey Tropp and Torrey Krug were teammates in college. Imagine the tongue twister. Riley Smith taps it over to Soderberg at the red line.
Good finish by Dougie Hamilton. It was Hamilton that pinched down the wall in the offensive zone, kept the play alive, but he ran into Soderberg's neighborhood, and he really tried to just make a self-pass chip play. That really wasn't his first choice. He wanted to attack the net if he could. He just ran out of real estate. And then he got back defensively. The Bruins had rotated back with their forwards to handle the one-on-one.
Thornton drags the puck inside. Murray on the block. Paille swipes it through the corner. Chara, the one-timer. A wild deflection lofts to the corner. Paille to Boychuk. Bounces it into the circle off the back of Thornton's skate. Campbell takes a swipe. Wisniewski smacks the backhand forward for Boone Jenner. He gives it back down to the corner. Thornton in front for Paille. The one-timer just wide. Chara keeps it in the attacking zone and then runs hard into Foligno. Foligno tries to lug it past. Foligno pulls it wide, tries to spin, gets Chara a little offline. Paille blocks it. Foligno gives it low. Johansson there, and Chara on his front whacks the puck all the way to center and then makes sure that Foligno is okay. They had a hard collision on the ice.
What a recovery by Chara. Chara had a shot blocked by Foligno, and Foligno's feeling it. He's put some points on the board in recent games, last 6, 7, 8, 9 games. He's been very productive. Chara has a shot block, and now he's at a disadvantage because he's thinking offense. He's a little flat-footed at the offensive blue line. Foligno got some separation, but a little help on the back check by his partner, Johnny Boychuk, to keep the play towards the outside, keep Foligno on the back end. And then Chara, even on the ice with that long stick and the long reach, able to sweep that puck out into the neutral zone.
I believe I misspoke with Foligno. Of course, he was with Ottawa, born in Buffalo, son of an all-time Sabre. Bergeron over the spoke B at the neutral zone. Marchand can't go backhand, forehand, and flip it in deep. Letestu on the go, wins the race for hybrid icing, and play continues in the Boston zone. Hamilton scoops the puck over Fedor-Tyutin. Here comes Marchand with pressure. Tyutin turns, and Eriksson's in his grill. Hamilton lobs it across. It bounces on the way down off the end glass. Bergeron taps for Eriksson. Eriksson chips it to the near corner all the way to the hash marks. Hamilton battling. Bergeron's one-timer goes wide with Eriksson screening. Seidenberg fires it off Johnson's skates. Seidenberg banks the pass past Marchand. Hamilton behind his back to Bergeron. The Hamilton low for Eriksson. The shot just wide on the glove side. Hamilton comes out the other side. Right through the slot, nobody home. Bergeron fires, he scores! Louis Eriksson in front. I think it hits somebody or something on the way through. But the Bruins lead 1-0.
Just love the motion in the offensive zone. Almost like you just have 5 players on the ice and nobody has really a position, a defined position, because the defense were active. Nice little give and go too by Hamilton and Bergeron on the back end. And then pucks and bodies to the net. It sure seems simple, and it is. It's fundamental. Not sure if Louis Eriksson gets a piece of this or not. Quick little wrist shot, accurate by Bergeron. The perfect height off the ice, about a foot It's difficult for the goaltender, not so much to track it, but to control it if he's going to save it. Well, he didn't save it, and I don't know if it hit Erickson, changed direction or not, but what a shift by that line. Strong, creative, motion, moving the puck, making real good decisions.
Iginla produces the turnover in the neutral zone by getting into the passing lane. Now Columbus throws the puck forward. Calvert looks over his shoulder, and he goes into the corner boards hard with McQuaid riding him all the way. And McQuaid and Calvert will try to get unpiled here with the skates for each around the other guy's face. Patrice Bergeron firing from the boards, and it finds its way through. The Bruins lead the Blue Jackets 1-0.
Bruins on top of the Blue Jackets 1-0 with the strength of a shot by Patrice Bergeron. Looked at it a number of times to see if it changed direction. Maybe got a piece of Louis Erickson. Hard to tell. Erickson doing his job, though, I'll tell you, Jack. Getting in front of the goaltender, working that blue paint. He's not a big guy, but he's elusive. He gets there with timing. He causes problems. He scores a lot of goals in and around the net, but it was Bergeron the entire shift, rotating back to get behind Hamilton. Hamilton makes a backhand feed to him. He gets down the wall to keep the play alive, puts the puck on net, which was the right play given the situation, and that's why the Bruins lead.
David Krejci bursts forward off the drop, tries to self-pass. Dalton Prout angles him off. Nikitin banks the pass for Corey Troppy, whips it across the Columbus zone. Prout hacks it out to the red line. Bouncing puck, McQuaid handles it. Lucic finds it behind a couple of Blue Jackets. Now here's Krejci wiggling over the line, letting the rush go by. Gives to Krug to Boychuk. The blast bounces off the bodies in front. Classic David Krejci as he got in the eddy of the flow, and the river just went right on by.
Well, he attacked Prout, but the Bruins really didn't have numbers. But the way Columbus defended or failed to defend allowed him time and space.
Nick Foligno tumbles it toward Chad Johnson. Chara smacks it around past Johansson. Iginla saucers the backhand, elevating it so that it got cleanly through to Lucic. He dumps in and the Bruins change out. Bruins doing the little things well. Columbus has had a couple of scrappy chances, but Boston has carried much of the play. Chara with a big hit, and that stands up Boone Jenner. Johansson gloves it toward the end boards, but Smith has body position, takes the return from Chara. Riley Smith through the seam to Kelly. Intentionally wide, it dies off the glass back to the net. Murray can't clear. Hamilton unable to get it past Jenner. Atkinson tries a fancy pass at the line. It's not a good place to turn over the puck. Riley Smith off a stick. Kelly finds it. The shot blocked, the rebound. Smith couldn't get it through the D. Soderberg's snapshot, a save by McElhinney as that had eyes all the way through the seam.
Jack, you mentioned the little things, and you can take that pressure all the way back to the neutral zone. Hamilton on the pitch, who's protected? Chris Kelly. Kelly stops the play at center ice and leads the quick counterattack back into the offensive end.
So far, the eyeball test, the Bruins are doing okay. Better too. Whacks it around, the puck up on edge. Seidenberg doesn't get a good swipe at it. Atkinson very quick, sends it low. Now Letestu snaps the pass to Teuton around the perimeter. Johnson's one-timer tipped in front, goes to the corner. Letestu to Calvert. He goes after the wiggling puck, sizzles it to Johnson. Around the rim again, Teuton's drive. Campbell stacking the legs to make the block, and he's still playing with hardware in the leg. 2-on-1, Pye with Thornton, Pye to Thornton. Chips it just wide as Teuton got the stick on. Campbell with a second chance as the Bruins continue to pursue. Pye rattles the pass off Johnson's skate. Here's Krug to Campbell, just off the toe of his blade. Chara fakes the shot, goes low. Gets past Como, but not past Teuton. Gregory Campbell. Como tips it away. Teuton. The pass to Johnson. Off the stick of Thornton. Tremendous effort by this Gregory Campbell line.
Yeah, turning defense into offense. It started again. Back in the Bruins zone. The shot blocked by Campbell. He lays out. Then he locates the puck and he goes hard off the glass to an open Paille up in the neutral zone. That led to that 2-on-1, and Thornton just missed, scoring his 4th of the year.
Como's stick in Chara's skates ruled inadvertent contact, and it's icing against Boston.
Well, Columbus thought they had something going in the offensive end, and maybe they did, but the Bruins, once again, the little things add up to big things at the end of the night. This is a little thing right here, and we know the willingness of Gregory Campbell to block shots. That leads to this 2-on-1. Paille able to pull Johnson to him. Tootin just got a stick in there to disrupt that one-time attempt by Thornton because he had the net.
An impressive effort also by Paille. No head hanging at all after the missed chance there. Stopping on the puck, and the Bruins got another chance almost immediately.
He had a great opportunity on his last shift from tight range.
Louis Eriksson to Bergeron in front, and McElhinney gets a piece of the puck as Marchand was about to whack it in the open side. Trout and Marchand bumping each other. Bergeron has the only goal of the game.
After going 6 games without a point, Patrice Bergeron is our Acura key matchup tonight. Meet the extremely new 2014 MDX at Acura.com/MDX. Bergeron broke that streak yesterday afternoon with a goal against the Rangers. Claude Julien said no doubt those 6 games were starting to weigh on the shoulders of number 37, and hopefully that goal was going to get him back on track in goal scoring. Jack, it certainly seems like it has picked up tonight, but when you look at those face-off numbers, no doubt that he is feeling no pressure in the face-off dot.
He does so many things well, Jamie, and here's Boychuk the drive and another McElhinney save. But even though Bergeron may be feeling some internal pressure, the guy just doesn't show it. He conducts himself in an amazing manner.
Yeah, he's a +7. He's over 60% in the face-off circle on the year. He's the only guy that has short-handed points and power play points for the Boston Bruins. And, I guess when you go 6 without a point, I think it's tolerable.
It's all about W's for him. McKinley tries to shovel the backhand past Murray, but he blocks it with the skates. Now it's Artem Anisimov flicking the puck to the corner. Seidenberg on the pivot, bangs Anisimov. Anisimov, a big body. It comes free. Lucic steers the puck to Boychuk, returns it past Anisimov's path. And Krejci flips the puck low. Murray goes down hard, skates first into the boards. Boychuk kicks it low. Atkinson there for Columbus. Pops it up to Calvert. Boychuk bangs him. Lucic rotating, picks it up. Krejci had the puck in his skates, but finds it nicely. Seidenberg holds, throws it on McElhinney, and the Bruins get an attacking zone faceoff.
Lucic trying to set up the one-timer for David Krejci about 60 feet from goal, but the puck was too far forward. Once again, the Bruins with a good decision. This time was Johnny Boychuk on the pinch down the wall to keep the play in the offensive zone. That's why David Krejci's out by the blue line in the middle of the offensive zone to protect, and he ends up being a potential shooter.
Checking NESN attacking zone time in real time during the last TV breaks through the first 13.5 minutes of this game. The Bruins had 58 seconds more attacking zone time than Columbus. That's pretty significant that early in the game. If it's a minute per period, that's a pretty substantial margin. Better Tootin up to Ryan Johansson, gives it away to Soderberg. Soderberg walks in, a hook here at least. Soderberg throws it off the pads of McElhinney, and it's ruled a hooking penalty, no penalty shot. And the Bruins will go onto the power play when the game resumes.
Into the game with Bruins Group Tickets. With Group Tickets, you can save up to $21 per person. Plus score access
Just
to
two.
exclusive fan and youth hockey experiences, including 3 minutes of fame presented by
Ryan Johansson with the puck in the middle of his own zone. He's been playing very well for Columbus, but misfires on the backhand attempt in a dangerous area. Coaches tell you can't turn the puck over 10 feet inside your own blue line. That might have been closer to 5, but the steal by Soderberg, the net drive, and he draws the penalty. Bruins looking to extend their lead with a chance here on the power play.
Krug to Chara, the one-timer, and McElhinney actually moved his head out of the way, and who can blame him?
That wasn't low.
No, Chara below the dot, off of the skates of Teuton, and it rattles around to Iginla. Tosses back to Krejci. Little fake on Letestu to create some space, finds Krug, the one-timer, tip, scores! Milan Lucic in front. It's 2-0 Boston. All 22 seconds of the power play in the attacking zone.
How good is David Krejci? Jerome Iginla gives him a pass that could be troublesome for some players. Because it's David Krejci, they don't attack him because they know his puck-moving skills. It's a pass on the backhand, out at the point. Letestu goes in between him and Krug, and that allows David Krejci to have the patience and the poise to take the puck into a safe area, get himself turned around, and then deliver a nice pass for a one-timer for Torrey Krug and a well-positioned Milan Lucic. Bruins have worked a little bit on getting Chara to fan out a little bit over towards the dot and get Lucic to the front of the net, and that worked perfectly.
Atkinson rams the puck all the way around the boards. Riley Smith tries to one-hand it to center, and Isimov gets a piece of it. Ryan Murray up in front of the penalty bench to Matt Calvert. He spins it down into the corner. Seidenberg takes the Atkinson hit to get it to Soderberg. Kelly right there for the little tip pass. Roy to Wisniewski straight ahead, and Nisimov. Kelly on the check. Soderberg can't do anything with it. Here's Ryan Murray, gains the line. Calvert the trailer. Murray shot off McQuaid's stick. Now Smith in a race for the puck. Gets to it. Wisniewski cuts off his path. He veers off after dumping it.
Go back to that power play. We're talking about Chara. Chara gets the one-timer, Jack, because now they're trying to add a little wrinkle to that group's formation in the offensive zone. He gets the one-timer from just outside the dot. The rocket high over the crossbar. And then he rotates in that area again and allows Lucic to get to the top of the crease for the redirect.
Johansson trying the solo method again and again. The Bruins pick it off and take it back to the Blue Jackets' end. Boychuk swacking it toward the front of the goal. Trout hoists it out, and it spins all the way back to Chad Johnson's end for icing against the Blue Jackets.
Well, with Torrey Krug and what he brings to the Bruins lineup, the Bruins power play has a different dynamic this year. There's your one-timer. It gets deflected out high and then deflected again by Milan Lucic. A lot of goals scored in this league now. Our screens, redirects, double deflections. You got to pay a price to get into that area, even though Lucic is by himself. That's a nice power play because of the opportunities the Bruins created.
High heaves the backhand. Back of the goal. Foligno bangs hard against Boychuk. Tries to wedge for a little bit of space. Boychuk isn't going to give. Paille in there. Now Boychuk shoves the pile and the puck squirts loose. Foligno lifts it off the glass. Thornton knew he was going to take a hit from Johansson, and they rule a hand pass. That's going to come all the way back toward the Boston zone.
Well, little things again, Jack, to keep that theme alive. There's Sean Thornton playing left point because it was Boychuk who pitched all the way down, pursued the play all the way to the left wing boards in the offensive zone. Chara had rotated over to play the right side, which means you got to have a forward back there to protect for Boychuk. It ends up being Thornton.
Claude Julien continuing to evolve as a coach. The Bruins showing different looks each season, and this year so much more aggressive with the defensemen, which requires that kind of alertness from the forwards, right?
Absolutely. Not only communication, but an understanding, a thorough understanding of what everybody's responsibility is.
Marchand coming up ice. Seidenberg trailer on the far side. Marchand tries to get it to him. It's off Teuton's leg. Columbus has gone more than 11 minutes without a shot on goal as the Bruins have just taken over in the first period. Seidenberg wins the battle out by the blue line. Calvert playing, or rather Como playing without the glove on the low hand. Seidenberg bounces it into the Columbus zone. Nikita Nikitin scoots the puck over to Jack Johnson.
That's the golf look.
Just one glove, right? Here comes Anisimov over the line. It's off Hamilton's stick and lobs into the protective netting over the head of Chad Johnson.
Find the perfect gift for the fan on your list with the Bruins Holiday Gift Guide presented by TD Bank. Get to a game, see a show, bring home Bruins gear, and more. Check it all out at bostonbruins.com/gift guide. Columbus has had a hard time generating
offense, Brick. 8 shots on goal or fewer in 19 of their previous 20 periods coming into tonight. And with 2.5 to go in the first period, they've had only 2 shots on Chad Johnson. But that's what happens when you have big ticket guys like Gaborik, who's an offensive dynamo, and Dubinsky, who's such a terrific all-around player and gives so much good energy to the team on the shelf.
Yeah, the trickle down, and we've seen it before. You start asking other players to do things that they're really not qualified for or capable of, and sometimes you even take them out of position because it's really your best option.
Iginla goes for the shot, and it's off of Prout's leg. Now Foligno barreling up the ice. Gets position on Chara, but then blows an edge from his belly. Nudges it through to Johansson. Back to Foligno in the corner. It ain't pretty, but it's effective. Nick Foligno going to work again. Lucic slams into him. Boychuk back behind his own goal to Chara. Up to Lucic. Had it caught in his feet. Jenner with a little bit of speed to get around Chara, but then Boychuk cuts him off. The Bruins really playing the body effectively. Chara up to the center circle. He dumps it in and peels off. The Bruins get a clean change.
Yeah, I got a little chuckle out of Johnny Boychuk because it was almost like radar. Saw exactly where Jenner was going to go behind the net. He came from the other side.
Smith to Kelly. The shot and the save by McElhenney. Riley Smith, such an excellent passer. And Brick, he was telling us the other day that he really works hard at keeping the face of the stick closed. What did he mean by that?
Yeah, well, if you can turn your lower, your bottom hand, in his case the left hand, where you turn the blade of your stick almost as if you're cupping the puck, but to do it almost naturally every time, but even more so the later you get into a period or you play on an ice surface where the puck is bouncing all the time. Like the other night in Detroit, after the first 5 minutes of each period, that puck was bouncing all over the place, and it takes a little special hand skill to be able to settle that puck and keep it flat as often as he does.
Campbell swipes it away from Umberger, and Thornton makes contact with Umberger, and they'll settle things down. But this is one of the reasons that Riley Smith has 12 assists, that he's able to keep the puck flat.
Yeah, with the composite stick and how much that puck will explode off your stick if you don't cup it as consistently as a guy like Riley Smith does. And the puck's going to bounce on you. You're not going to be as good a passer as you possibly can be. What I really like about him, Jack, this is a bullet forehand pass. It's a nice collection by Kelly as well. But he has that same ability on the backhand, which is far more difficult.
When he was describing his stick, it sort of was reminiscent of the one you played with.
Yes.
All the hooks in the toe.
Where's the toe, exactly.
Gives him a lot of flat backhand surface to make that pass on the other side. Letestu gains the line. Umberger's shot wide on the stick side of Johnson. Paille didn't get much on the clearing attempt. Final 10 seconds. The Bruins certainly don't want to give one up here after dominating the first period territorially. Cross ice pass hops on Tootin, and the siren sounds. The Bruins will take a 2-0 lead into the room after 20 minutes.
Yeah, they did everything they wanted to do pretty much in that first period, with the exception of total domination. Just 2 shots on goal. Hardly any quality scoring chances for Columbus. They were on the attack. They get the lead. Not only do they play with the lead, they extend the lead, and it came on a power play. So a lot of good things for Boston in that opening 20.
Dale, it ties the fewest shots allowed by the Bruins in a period all season long, with the time they did it on the 23rd of October against the Buffalo Sabres. So a pretty good start for the men in black and gold. Well, Jamie, that pretty well sums it up. You look at the players on the Bruins roster who have Gordie Howe hat tricks, a goal, an assist, and a fighting major in the same game. And Jarome Iginla in the Wild Wild West had to do it pretty much by himself for a long time, and 10 of them leads this team. But Chara was a thing of beauty yesterday, Brick.
It really was, and this is a big game, and Bruins needed to bounce back after that significant loss to Detroit. You're playing a team that they feel they match up pretty well against you. They should have been motivated given the way the Bruins handled them in the postseason last year. Chara makes a great pass to Marchand on the first goal. He takes care of business with Brian Boyle, and then with the game on the line in the third period with about 8.5 to go, Chara with a big slap shot. And Jack, you pointed it out a number of times the last few broadcasts. He's really worked on that shot, keeping it down. We saw one in the first period where he tried to rip it high, but for the most part, that shot's been low and on target, and he just overpowered Lundqvist with the game winner.
So the Bruins hope to continue what they did in the first period. Second periods have been a bit of a mystery for Boston this year. Brick, their overall goal differential is flat 0, which for the Bruins is very uncharacteristic this deep into a season. First period summary brought to you by your New England Ford dealer. Brad Marchand taps the backhand, goes right after it next to the post. Jack Johnson ties him up. Chara pinches down on Nick Foligno. Marchand rakes it off the corner glass. Marchand has supplanted Louis Eriksson with the second assist on Bergeron's game-opening goal, according to the official scoring change we just received a few moments ago. Marchand knocks down Johansson at the line, and Columbus is offside.
Yeah, it looked like one of those helpers where the puck makes contact with your skate, changes direction, and you know, when the off-ice officials take a look at it, they make a few changes.
Thank you.
Jack Johnson shows some gumption, willing to trade with Chara, punching 8 inches uphill on him, and Nick Foligno makes a flyby just to let Chara know that if he wants to pick on somebody, he's a willing combatant.
Well, the Bruins like to play that heavy game, and Chara's involved. A one-arm shove knocks Jenner right to the ice. Johnson came over a little later, say hello. You know, Jack Johnson's been a fixture, really, when you start talking about U.S. Olympic hockey.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure. I'm not sure if he's in the top 6 this year when you think about what's going to happen in Sochi in February.
Yeah, well, he was on the 2010 silver medal winning team. You kind of wonder if Paul Martin hadn't suffered the broken arm in 2010, if the depth would have been a little bit greater. And after all, it did come down to one sudden death overtime goal to decide the gold medal. And unfortunately, as many of you know, Paul Martin suffered a broken leg in the Bruins Penguins game. Of course, we enjoyed it because he continued to play the rest of the game. Being the stud that he is, he's a really hard-working, consistent defenseman.
Minor penalties for
Yeah, but it's going to be interesting to see if Johnson ends up in the mix. McKinley makes the play below the dots in the defensive zone. Here's David Krejci. Krejci slides it cross corner. James Wisniewski, who's had a relatively quiet night so far, gives it over to Ryan Murray. Krejci with the steal on the back pressure. Krejci's season got a little bit derailed when Brandon Dubinsky took him hard into the corner boards in a previous meeting between the Bruins and the Blue Jackets. But he has returned to form since then. Puck pops back to Murray, finds Foligno, high slot, loads up for the wrist shot and just misses the goal.
Real nice look by Murray. Almost sold as if he was going to take a wrist shot towards goal, and he zipped the pass into the high slot to Foligno.
Riley Smith jukes on Murray. Murray sweeps the puck to the corner. Not a lot of flashy stuff, but he doesn't make mistakes, does he? Amazing, 20 years old, Ryan Murray. Foligno. Krug pokes it away, and Foligno gives him a punch in the chest. Here's Boychuk, the snap shot. McElhinney gobbles it up, but the Bruins get an attacking zone faceoff. The Geico Road Ahead 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And look at this. 4 consecutive days without a game? That's an incredible amount of time for the Bruins, who are finishing off 8 games in 13 days.
Have you checked the weather yet?
What, in Western Canada?
No, those next 4 days.
Oh, the next 4 days, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Hey, our first trip to Montreal coming up, Jack.
Yes, I know about that. That date might have been circled back in July. And I'm sure that the entire province of Quebec is readying the cash registers for us. Ryan Johansson, after an inadvertent collision between two Blue Jackets, they're a little out of sync, to say the least, tonight. Krug trying to shove Johansson off stride. Johansson A-frames and gets good stability. Banks the pass. Pass to Letestu. Johnson all the way deep in the attacking zone. Now setting up a cycle. Letestu. Albert and Marchand come out of the box. Marchand has Lucic on his right. Marchand takes it wide, stops against Johnson. The backhand into the middle. Calvert with possession and the immediate whistle for hooking. And the Bruins go to the power play once again. And Calvert getting his chin right up in McQuaid's face, and McQuaid is wise to it. He knows he's not going to be well advised to get a confrontation here, which could balance out the penalty.
Tremendous anticipation from the crowd. They're looking for a little something to get started here, especially when McQuaid stepped on the ice. And this goes back to the little scrum that involved Calvert and Johnson. And now Johansson putting his little glove in the sequence. Away from the play, the net drive by Lucic. The penalty on the stick work by Toot. The Bruins already with a power play goal by Lucic back in period number 1. An opportunity to really further themselves from Columbus with a power play goal right now.
Went ahead by 1. The Bruins 1 for 1 in this game and 3 for 17 on the season. Anisimov and Bergeron on the faceoff. And Bergeron wins it cleanly to Hamilton. Hamilton past Bergeron through the seam. Nikitin banks the backhand out to the neutral zone.
Columbus penalty number 51.
Dougie Hamilton holds Bergeron swinging right. Erickson and Smith on the left. Riley Smith has a lane. Flips it past Dalton. He stops it for Nikita Nikitin. And Nikitin gets a second chance, and he bounces a wobbler all the way in on Chad Johnson.
I'd like to see that dump in by Riley Smith be one or the other. Chip it softly into the corner on the near side, or a good hard around. Not leaving there for the goaltender could handle it, set it up for the defenseman.
Bruins don't get a clean entry. Dougie Hamilton swats at the puck and touches it. It's a delayed offside call against Boston. So the other power play unit comes out.
You almost get the sense that there's a nice healthy competition between the two power play units right now for Boston, Jen. And when Lucic scored the first, or the power play goal back in the first period, Claude seeing that other unit to start this, even though Bergeron won the opening faceoff in the offensive zone, the Bruins just couldn't really get in sync. So this unit on the ice.
Krejci chips the pass over to Krug, walks in. The wrist shot off Wisniewski's stick. And Umberger clears at 200 feet. Now, that previous clear by Columbus, it went all the way in on Chad Johnson, counts as a shot on goal. It was Columbus's first shot on goal in an 18-minute span of this game. Blue Jackets clear again. The Bruins not showing any fluidity on the power play yet.
That's the ultimate rope-a-dope right there.
I won't take it personally. McKinley to the right side. Krejci reaches, finds Krug, the shot, save McElhinney. Chara jamming for the rebound along with Lucic, but they couldn't swat it past.
All in one motion, collect the pass, good wrist shot, foot off the ice from that distance, intended for a rebound, and got it.
Patrice Bergeron gives it to Hamilton, working Nikitin's corner. Hamilton shields the puck, and Nikitin just throws him down. Lucic comes over, but Nikitin already has made the clear. One shot on goal for the Bruins on the power play. Back to 5-on-5 now. This is offside.
Well, cross back diagonal, back to Torrey Krug at the left point. He's able to take this in one motion, that quick release, the pull back of the stick, cup the blade, keep it flat, get rid of it quick before the shooting lane disappears. It's a foot off the ice. It's a difficult save for a goaltender. Not so much the save, but to direct the rebound where you want it to go.
Marchand gains the line, cross ice for Erickson, but Tootin makes the stick block. Here comes Skilly on a semi-break. Seidenberg wraps around and taps the puck away. Bergeron and Skilly mixing it up in the Boston crease. Dennis Seidenberg twice tonight has extended and made a desperation play.
Yeah, handled a 2-on-1 with the slide back in the first period. This is just an unbelievable play. Skilly explodes through the neutral zone. Great pass from Trop. He thinks he's got a breakaway. Once he feels and senses Seidenberg's coming, he tries to protect the puck. He actually had the puck right where it should be, but Seidenberg with the reach around and to be able to make that play and avoid a penalty is impressive.
Anisimov, Atkinson, and Calvert, the forwards for Todd Richards' Columbus Blue Jackets. McQuaid holds his ground, so Bergeron can get the puck around to the near side. Now Seidenberg off the stanchion. Bergeron patient with the puck. Through to Thornton, who had position on Teuton, so Teuton could not seal off the boards, so the Bruins clear. Johnson, a quick shift, goes against the grain, and that's icing. Toyota game break with Dale Arnold. Dale.
Thank you, Jack. Pittsburgh's in Florida tonight. Late in the first, Penguins up 1-0. Jason Megna takes a shot, saved by Thomas. Joe Vitale there for the rebound. Initially ruled no goal, but after the review, ruled a good goal. 2-0 Pittsburgh with the lead. Jack?
Northeastern zone, Joe Vitale, and Pittsburgh up 7 on Washington in the Metropolitan Division. A division that as a whole has been a real disappointment, but that keeps the door open for Columbus to charge in there. Long shot and a long rebound as Anisimov gets one up high on the blocker side. Thornton accelerating up the right side. Calvert taps the puck loose. Thornton tries to wiggle it through, and Campbell comes through with power to take the puck to the corner. Back to McQuaid. Off the wall. Can't trickle the pass through to Thornton, who bumps Anisimov. Now it's Jack Johnson on the offside. Turns Krug, one-hands it across the slot, nobody home. The Bruins can't take advantage of Columbus having a defenseman on the wrong side of the puck. They can't get it out of the zone. R.J. Umberger sends it in deep. Blake Como trying to get away from McQuaid. High gives him a bump. Como reverses. Umberger wedges out from the boards. McQuaid tries to throw him off balance. Umberger brings it back to Wisniewski, loads up, takes the shot, saved by Johnson. Seemed to surprise him. Letestu rifles it over the top and it hits glass. It's the best zone time Columbus has had in quite some time. Umberger brings it back to Wisniewski. His drive tipped in front, and the puck trickles to the corner, never getting through to Chad Johnson. McQuaid taps it off Umberger's stick. Here are the Bruins with their second period problems, stuck in the long change, far from the Boston bench, and they're getting tired out there. Krug hammers it off the boards, and it's a billiard shot in on McElhaney, affording Boston a change.
Well, that pressure results of an unforced turnover. Bruins had possession of the puck. Thornton tried to go wing to wing and hit Campbell, and all of a sudden, once Columbus completed their line change, now they had puck possession in the Bruins' end.
Carl Soderberg whacks the puck down into the corner. Ryan Murray gets body position on Riley Smith. Now Soderberg races back to pick it up, and the Bruins look for a quick up. Chara through the seam to Smith. Smith drops off to Kelly. The drive saved by McElhaney. Chara taking about 60 feet with that pass and putting it right on Smith's tape. Boychuk's bomb hammers off the end glass. Foligno turns away from Chara and flips the puck to the neutral zone. Kelly off Foligno's legs and back to the center circle. Murray quickly forehand to backhand to Foligno down into the corner. Chara bangs Foligno against the glass. Johansson tries to set up a cycle with Jenner. Jenner comes to the half boards, indirect, back to the point. The Keaton shot rattles around and the Bruins get it out. McGinley shoulder to shoulder with Prout, who holds his line. Now it's the Keaton going vertical for Atkinson. The BC product chips the puck down into Hamilton's corner. Hamilton knows the hit's coming. Atkinson bounces off. McGinley off Anisimov skates. Second effort gets it to Krejci. Krejci to Lucic on the left wing, draws it wide. Krejci going middle, the pass right back for Krejci, but he couldn't get the stick down as he was tied up in the Keaton. Now Murray. Here we go, Prout and Lucic. Lucic with a couple of rights. Prout can throw. Lucic misses with the right. Prout trying to get an angle. Lucic engages, gets the hook. Prout misses with a couple of big swipes. Prout with a quick jab, scores one. Lucic measures him with the right. Under, can't go over. Blocks Prout. Prout misses with the uppercut. That had some sting on it. And the linesmen step in to break them up. 5 for fighting. The 16th fighting major for Boston in 27 games. Bruins lead 2-0. Bruins leading Columbus 2-0 mid-second period. We just had a nice dust-up. Tonight's twisted but true fact of the game. Well, you cannot underestimate the importance, or maybe overestimate the importance of this game for the Columbus Blue Jackets. Pittsburgh pulling away and winning again tonight. And the target team is the third-place team, which is the Rangers.
Columbus penalty number
And
47,
Columbus
Dalton
comes into tonight
Dalton
5
penalty number
points
17, Milan Lucic.
behind the Rangers, who already have won this afternoon.
Time of the penalty, taken is 34 seconds.
Foxford's Chris Kreider, the first of his career. And Brick, here are the Metropolitan Division standings, and you made reference to this earlier tonight.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's going to catch Pittsburgh. They're one of the top teams in the East, and that's certainly not to discount Washington or any other teams below them right now. I just think they're the class of that division. That being said, if you think there's going to be multiple teams, meaning more than 4 to come out of the Atlantic Division, you got a race going on right now. And if you're Columbus, or I mean, even the Islanders have lost 5 straight. They're tumbling. You can't do that. And even though Columbus is win one, lose one right now in their last 8, they got to put something together because they've had losing streaks of 4 and 5 games already this year.
Marchand out of the corner as Boychuk guns it in deep. Bergeron looks up, chips to Eriksson forward to the goal line. Bergeron gets body position, shields from Tuukka. Eriksson to Boychuk, the wrist shot off of Marchand in front as he was jousting with Johnson. The drive from Boychuk off of Krug's venture all the way into the left wing corner. Marchand had rotated to the point, but now Columbus breaks it out. Johnny Boychuk with speed turning the goal through the neutral zone. Letestu takes the puck off his stick, trickles it into space. Umberger. Krug steers him off the puck. Eriksson turns away from Letestu's hit. Krug to the far side. Boychuk chucks it up, and it goes off of a bit of glass.
I don't think so.
Now they're going to signal it went straight out.
Yeah, it looked like it got some glass from our angle. Of course, they're right down there with a better view. Referee right behind Johnny Boychuk, but he's indicating that this is going to be a minor penalty.
Well, this is a huge power play for Columbus.
Boychuk's going to go for delay of game. You got that high glass when you're down in and around that corner below the goal line, and then it gets a little lower when you get up around that right wing position. Boychuk trying to catch a little piece of that glass, but apparently doesn't. And Columbus with a much-needed opportunity to generate some offense.
Johansson, who is expert at picking the short side top corner, centering with Umberger and Foligno. Here's Wisniewski. The one-timer Murray is wide. Johansson fires it into Chara's skates.
Time of the
Chara
79
holds
minutes
the
and
puck.
49 seconds.
Takes the hit from Foligno, but
Boychuk
quick going
minus
for
penalty
Tumble.
delay of game.
Johansson
49.
spoons it around through the corner. Wisniewski, the quick tap down the boards. Johansson spins away from Krejci, feeds it back to Wisniewski off of Krejci, and that one gets deflected up and over the netting into the loge section about 20 rows high.
Everybody talks about David Krejci and his great patience, his offensive skills, his ability to dish the puck. Well, he's out here killing a penalty. And even though it's a scrum off the draw and Columbus ends up with possession, he wants to be aggressive when he can. He tried to be aggressive to Wisniewski. He tried to be aggressive down the half wall on Johansson. And when Wisniewski gets the return pass, what does he do? He doesn't chase the puck. He chases the lane. He get in the lane, and he's able to get there in time to deflect that shot.
Tremendous talent and underrated toughness.
That's that bond that you share with him.
That's funny. Oh yeah. It's a good thing we're high above the ice, because at the morning skates the puck comes over the glass and I'm looking for a fallout shelter. Johansson holds on the right half boards, looks for a seam. McQuaid, good stick position. Now Ryan Murray to Johansson coming high, tries the drive, and it goes off of Umberger. Johansson doesn't handle it cleanly, neither does Marchand. Murray tosses to Johansson, the short pass to Foligno 10 feet away. Foligno backs into the boards, chips it to Murray. Murray over to Wisniewski, the bomb on the one-timer, and it rattles off glass all the way back to the point. Murray wheels it to Wisniewski, far side. It's Johansson over there. Foligno's moved to the high slot, trying to show him his stick. Wisniewski has a little bit of space. Murray top of the circle. Wisniewski fakes the one-timer. Murray top of the circle. No lane. Murray to Wisniewski, the one-timer saved by Johnson with Umberger in his face. Wisniewski to Murray, the drive, and McQuaid going down to one knee to block the shot that was coming right in his face. Bergeron calmly whips it diagonally, but Murray stops it at the Columbus blue line. Quickly back into the Boston zone in the final 12 seconds of the power play. Bouncing puck, and Chara punches it back through the neutral zone. Gregory Campbell. Atkinson scrapes it off his stick. He comes up to the Boston line. The shot blocked or saved by Johnson. One shot by Columbus during the power play. Jack Johnson down the board. Tootin gathers the cross-ice pass from Anisimov. It hits the strings going wide on the glove side of Chad Johnson. Brick, what does it say that Columbus spent 1:46 in the attacking zone and only got one shot on goal?
Body position, stick position by the penalty killers. Wisniewski had a couple opportunities maybe to shoot the puck, but the Bruins got in the lane, discouraged them, forced them to pass the puck to Murray on the opposite side. A couple of shot blocks on that side, one by McQuaid. That's what penalty killing's all about.
Dougie Hamilton back after it. Boston, having allowed just 11 power play goals in its first 26 games, is ranked number 2 in the NHL in that category.
Yeah, you can be in your own zone killing penalties and hold your position and be effective as long as you're aggressive at the right times. But if you have body position, stick position like the Bruins really work at it, I can't emphasize enough the amount of video work the coaching staff does. You can't have a player's attention for very long in those video sessions. So it has to be accurate, it has to have meaning, it has to have purpose in order to be well schooled and ready to play on the special teams, and they're penalty killing doing it.
I think that video coach Jeremy Rogalski is looking forward to 4 consecutive days without a game after this stretch. Soderberg pulls up, and then the wrist shot wide on the glove side. Boychuk gets the skates on Como's stick, and Como loses his grip. Nikitin turns away from McGinley's pressure. Skilly knocks the puck loose, but Krug keeps it in. McGinley takes the hit from Como, turns back into him, and then gets it around Nikitin. What an effort from McGinley. Krejci loose. McGinley can't jam it past the pad on the backhand. And that's just the hockey gods not being fair. Here's Krug to McGinley. The shot blocked by Murray. Murray can't clear the zone. Boychuk wrists it through the corner. What an effort from Jarome McGinley along the boards.
And he made the right athletic move to get to that puck in order to have leverage on the backhand.
Krejci fakes the shot, now takes it. And a save by McElhaney. Smith one way then the other on Johansson, banks the pass to Boychuk. Boychuk along the line to Krug. High middle for Kelly. The wrist shot and the blocker save McElhaney. The Bruins getting some good looks here. Lots of movement in the attacking zone. Riley Smith as the Bruins change out to Eriksson fresh off the bench, but he can't carry it along on the forehand. Johansson past the red line, and he needs a blow.
And the left winger is getting a little extra duty with Milan Lucic in the box after his bout.
Kelly gains the line. Wisniewski tries to shove him off stride. Smith picks off Wisniewski's effort to get it up the boards. Smith in front of the Zamboni doors. Past Eriksson, but Hamilton keeps the puck inside the zone. Chara's drive, a low one, produces the rebound. Foligno whacks the puck off the boards and through center. Hamilton into Kelly's skates, wants to get it back to the neutral zone and does. Here's Chara stepping up. Eriksson to Chara, racing up the off wing. Chara off Wisniewski's skates. Chara with a huge reach. Eriksson back for the goal. Eriksson fans on the backhand pass. Hamilton cross ice to Chara, backing out of the circle. He wrists it low and into McElhaney's body. Jarome McGinley, a work ethic second to none. Bruins up 2-0 late second.
Time now for the Berkshire Bank exciting rewind. We're going to rewind it back to yesterday afternoon. The Bruins against the Rangers. The first goal of the game. Brad Marchand's going to actually score the goal, but it was tremendous work in the offensive zone by the Bergeron line, but it was with David Krejci initially. But Chara is able to find Marchand. A lot of good things to like about this shift, and it starts with this play right here. A little touch pass by David Krejci. Brad Marchand doesn't go racing into the corner, even though he sees 3 Rangers converging. He knows, because he reads the play, that Krejci's going to get to it first. What are his options? His best option is to chip it up the wall. How about this move by Zdeno Chara? He's going to sell the little wrist shot against Dash, pull it right around him, try to get to a better area. As the Bruins try to work the front of the net, it was Louis Eriksson that's there, and because Louis Eriksson's able to track this puck and get to it first, watch David Krejci. He's going to go for a line change, and Zdeno Chara now can read that. He knows he has help behind him because there's a line change going on, so he stays in. Eriksson finds him with a little pass, and the seam opens up on the weak side, where it was all afternoon. And what a nice pass by Chara and a beautiful release by Marchand. That gave the Bruins a 1-0 lead.
And once again, the underrated toughness of David Krejci, knowing the Hagelin hit was coming in the corner, gave up no ground at all. Knew he was going to have to take the hit to move the puck. Calmly moved the puck and then got smacked, and pretty hard.
And Marchand has to read that. He knows David Krejci's going to absorb the hit. And what is his best option? If I just stay right here, he can chip that puck right up the wall. It's a possession play.
Speaking of chips, there seems to be a little bit of irregularity in the ice right in front of the Boston door, but they've trimmed it up. That's linesman Brian Mock. Good name for a skater, Mock. High banks the pass for Seidenberg. The snapshot save. McElhinney loose in front. Campbell. Letestu had a real good hold on Gregory Campbell's stick, and so he's going to spend the next 2 minutes in the penalty bench.
Well, again, the advantages were winning face-offs, and the Bruins in the offensive zone, puck possession. It leads to scoring chances, if not scoring chances, potential penalties. Good hard wrist shot again by Seidenberg. The Bruins getting some decent inside position with the 4th unit on the ice. Letestu, all he can do is hook. Hope I get away with it. Campbell can't get to that loose puck because of the hook by Letestu, and the Bruins go back on the power play. It's been a while since we've seen the Iginla one-timer with this unit, Jack. Not a bad time for it.
McGillen, the right shot, setting up often in the left circle, finding the seam. Krug's shot. McGinley lifts Johnson's stick, and that keeps the puck alive for Boston on the power play. Krug cross ice. Chara, left shot on the right side. Here's Krejci's one-timer save. Rebound. McGinley chips the backhand. Can't get it over the left leg of Curtis McElhinney. McGinley shoves the puck along. Krejci with contact with the puck, so Johansson can't clear. Lucic rotating, gets it back to Krejci. Chara at the goal line, across for Krug. Krug tries 3 times, it bounces out. Iginla asking for the puck, but it came into his skates on Krejci's pass. Krejci saucers it. Iginla catches it on one bounce. Iginla takes it down into Johnson's corner and goes in heavy, and that keeps Johnson from being comfortable with the puck. Chara down there as the clock continues to tick. Lucic hard around, and Krejci races to the boards to keep it in. Stumbling, toe picks a little and gets it in deep. Krug across the front. Lucic was coming toward the puck. Hard to make the adjustment.
Well, Krug saw the pass. Lucic didn't.
Krug, the tip from Chara in front, and it bounces to the end board. Johnson gets the puck to Calvert, and he lifts it out.
Think about it, Jack. That low play, it's Chara looking for Krug. You've done some things with your power play this year that you haven't seen the Bruins do in years past because of the personnel, the addition of Krug, and working Chara down low.
Bergeron and Eriksson in the corner, and the puck rattles loose to Wisniewski. Still more than 20 seconds to go on this Boston power play.
And what I meant about that pass by Krug to Lucic, Krug saw the passing lane, Lucic didn't.
Bergeron reverses, 10 seconds to go on the power play. Wisniewski out to center. Hamilton cuts it off, throws it to the right side. The Bruins changing out and preparing to go back into 5-on-5 mode. 4 shots on goal during the power play, a total of 6 on 3 power plays for Boston tonight, and the Bruins did score on one of them. Cam Atkinson pirouetting twice in the low circle. Wisniewski intentionally wide. Bruins were in the attacking zone for a minute 32 and got 4 shots, whereas you heard about Columbus earlier with an impressive 146, but only getting 1 shot on goal. Marchand right over the center dot, goes toward Nikitin, curls off, saucers to Seidenberg, the puck on edge, the shot with Thornton jamming, and McElhinney scoops it out of the air. 2:06 to go, second period. Boston 2, Columbus 0 at TD Garden. The Amica Coverage Cam presented by Amica Insurance. Great service, great coverage, and a great price for auto, home, or life insurance.
Remember the power play goal the Bruins scored in Carolina where Soderberg hit Riley Smith coming in from the point? There are certain cues that happen on the man advantage. The minute Zdeno Chara starts to go into this area here to make himself available for David Krejci, there's the read and react. The cue. Torrey Krug reading the cue off Zdeno Chara. He knows the low play backdoor is in motion the minute he works that goal line and takes that pass from the half-wall guy, David Krejci. Unfortunately, the puck just didn't land in time, but that was a well-executed play.
Lucic caves in Skilly in front of the penalty bench. Foligno tries to swim around Seidenberg, who steers Foligno away from Chad Johnson. Columbus with just 8 shots on goal in the first 38 minutes of this game.
So hard for Columbus to not just generate offense, but to have that sustainability. You know, your depth of your team, the guys that you're missing, just the overall talent level. And then you're playing a team that plays a heavy game. There's a lot of body contact. You have to fight through layers defensively. It's difficult.
So if you're a guy like Nick Foligno, you're thinking 1 crimey one here and we can go to the room down by 1.
Absolutely. He's been one of their better players here tonight. He's been around the puck a lot. He's caused the Bruins some issues.
He plays a full-hearted chip. Boy, he just took a Seidenberg shoulder right in the chin as he's trying to make contact and going in there. Now Foligno wants to go with Seidenberg and he throws the gloves down. Now he horse collars Seidenberg. And linesman Derek Nansen goes over and does a do-si-do with Foligno, so they won't fight.
Reminds me of the time in Toronto. Wasn't it Toronto? Where somebody wanted a piece of Seidenberg and McQuaid tried to get in there, but Seidenberg handled it himself.
The German hammer, yeah.
Foligno's gotten under the skin of a bunch of players. I mean, that's good body contact right there by Seidenberg. I don't know if Foligno's got a problem with that.
Reminds me of the Bud Light ad where the guy runs into the post at the train station. Foligno down the tunnel.
I wonder if the Bruins will get a power play out of this or will be all even. What do you think?
Well, there wasn't much question who dropped the gloves first, but given the context of this, well, now referee Chris Lee holds 2 fingers in the air. So,
well, I was wondering, is it, the penalty for dropping the gloves, is it an unsportsmanlike, is it misconduct? And then this little move right here, when they're trying to police things. I would have thought Boston got a power play out of this sequence.
Well, maybe there is. Jack Skilly, yes. Jack Skilly is going to the Columbus penalty bench, and he will serve what appears to be an unsportsmanlike penalty on Nick Foligno at 18:24 of the second period. So the Bruins have a chance to stick an emotional dagger in there. Here's Chara. Krug missed stick handles and has to recover in the neutral zone with Ryan Johansson pestering him.
Time of the penalty is
Cross ice to
24 seconds. Foligno minor penalty unsportsmanlike conduct.
It is unsportsmanlike conduct to Nick Foligno. Krejci right over the spoke B. Saucers the forehand pass to Lucic. Can't get it in front. Krejci banks it to Krug. And for the second time in the power play, it hops over Krug's stick. Krug to Krejci. David Krejci in the final minute of the second period. Bruins leading by 2. Krug cross ice too far forward for Iginla. but he gets the legs in position, and Umberger cannot clear. Jack Johnson reverses. Lucic after it with Umberger approaching, trickles it back to Iginla. It rattles off of Umberger's legs all the way down to Chad Johnson. Johnson in the trapezoid. Now Iginla turns his goal. Jerome Iginla on the goal. Stick handles wide on Anisimov. Slips it to Eriksson. Eriksson has it pop up off Ryan Murray. Eriksson holding. Hamilton to Smith. He closes the shot. A blocker save, and it might have caught the shaft of the stick of Curtis McElhinney above the blocker before going up off glass and out.
Heads up play, even with the line change happening. Iginla getting off after he did a pretty decent job of getting that puck in the offensive zone. Bruins are able to make that nice little transition from side to side. Dougie Hamilton finding Riley Smith walking in and right off the butt end of the stick.
As a forward prick, that's just got to break your heart. I mean, you beat him over the elbow and it hits the shaft.
It's been a frustrating power play in the sense where you get the puck to Krug 3 times and the play's just got to evaporate out to the neutral zone. And then that happens to you.
Atkinson turns it on goal, and Johnson has to smother the puck. He can't, and the siren sounds to end the second. Really chaotic finish to the second period, but the Bruins will take a 2-0 lead into the room after 40 minutes.
If you're disappointed about anything in that period, I mean, the Bruins don't lose anything because they're still up 2-0, and they still pretty much have dominated this game, but they had opportunities to extend the lead, especially with a couple power plays where the execution needed to be a little bit better.
Well, it's the eyeball test tonight, Dale, and through 2, nobody's blinking for Boston. Boston Bruins Hockey on NESN is brought to you by the all-new Sierra, designed and engineered by GMC. Incredible thinking in the form of a truck. By Amica Insurance. By Infinity. By the Massachusetts Health Connector. By your local New England Audi dealers. By Ace Ticket. And by Toyota's official website for deals. BuyAToyota.com. Alongside Andy Brickley with Jamie Erdahl at Ice Level and our NESN production crew, I'm Jack Edwards. We're coming your way live from TD Garden, where the Bruins have been in control of this one since 2 first-period goals. And Milan Lucic had a little fisticuffs in the second period just to keep things exciting. Let's fly to the bench for an interview with Andy Brickley and Bruins assistant coach Doug Huda, brought to you by Cape Air. Your wings to 44 cities in the U.S., the Caribbean, and Micronesia. Book your tickets at capeair.com now.
Dougie, you got Dennis Seidenberg back in the lineup now the last couple of games. How would you best describe his impact on your group of 6 on the back end?
Well, I think it really it puts everybody in their spots. You know, and Dennis plays behind Z, and you can bump him up, and we can move guys around. But getting him back on his own side and having our partners the way they are right now seems to work pretty well for us. And when we can roll 6 like that, it really helps, especially with as many games that come at once.
You guys really played to your identity yesterday in that win over the Rangers yesterday afternoon. That heavy style of hockey. Are you getting enough of that tonight again?
I don't think so. I don't think we're quite the same. The first period, I think we were. I think we got away from it in the second period. And this third period, we got to go right back out there and get pucks in deep and really grind them down low.
Is there any dangling of the carrot other than the 2 points here for the third period for your group?
Well, you know what? It's just being first place. We just want to win every game. We want to have a good third period heading into, hopefully a day off tomorrow and just regroup, because we got a few days in between games. So let's finish it on a positive note.
Thanks, Doug. Good luck in the third.
Thanks.
Columbus with Nick Foligno in the penalty bench along with Jack Skilly. 24 seconds showing still on the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty against Foligno. Game summary brought to you by your New England Ford dealers. And Brick, as you alluded to, Seidenberg, in the words of Doug Huda, puts everybody in their spot. The right time for the right players at the right moments.
Yeah, and he also said that he plays right behind Big Z. In other words, you roll Chara out there against probably the top talent, and then when you come with your next wave of talent, you got to go against Seidenberg. And now you got the right shots where they want to be on the right side. You got the left shots where they want to be. Even though Krug and guys, Chara at times, but he and Seidenberg and Krug can play the offside, but now everybody's slotted where they're supposed to be.
Krug with a puck on edge comes up high on Jack Johnson. One shot during the power play, and Skilly's out of the box. Little reach behind pass to himself. Fires it across the goal mouth. Letestu unable to tip it home on the backhand. Wing to wing, Bergeron to Marchand. He's on the go against Wisniewski. Marchand holds, goes around the perimeter at top speed, drags it around the attacking zone. Marchand still with the puck in the full 360. He's going for his second tour. Marchand to McQuaid. That's the old Brad Marchand right there. Here he is showing high. Low for Kelly on the doorstep. Erickson, he can't rattle it home. But Brad Marchand showing the kind of skating and control at the edge of his reach that we haven't seen in a while.
It's the biggest, longest, widest one-man cycle game I've seen all along this year.
Well, it creates a lot of things for his teammates. Loose puck in front as Atkinson jams, and Chad Johnson got a pad on it. Columbus just trying to get the next one and then make this a game after hanging around and getting territorially dominated for much of the game. Adam McQuaid slow to get up after a collision just inside the Boston line. Curl and drag from Riley Smith. Couldn't keep the puck on the toe of the blade. David Krejci gets past Prout. Can't maintain possession. Letestu into the neutral zone. Flicks the puck off the boards. Como gets underneath Seidenberg. Krejci. Soft saucer pass, well weighted to it, so Iginla can skate onto it. Lucic on the quick pivot, fires low, looking for Hamilton. Seidenberg stabs at it, misses. Lucic at the point, the drive, bounces up and in! Jerome Iginla is on the doorstep. Lucic firing away. If Iginla gets the goal, Lucic has a Gordie Howe hat trick. But if Lucic gets the goal, that's 2 for him tonight.
But again, it always starts with what the Bruins do in their own zone. Seidenberg gets back, makes body contact with Como. That allows David Krejci to get to the loose puck. He doesn't panic. He just lays it in an area to allow Iginla to skate into it. Lucic comes across. And then Iginla makes a great pass to Lucic. Tape to tape. In stride, with speed, gain entry. And now you got something really working in the offensive zone. And once again, the Bruins with a motion in the offensive end. And a hard drive by Milan Lucic. We've seen him shoot the puck from this distance because of how it works in the offensive zone. He shot the puck a number of times over the crossbar. Well, that one's below the crossbar. It's accurate. It's on goal. If they're saying that Iginla scored this, they're going to take a look at it to see where he made contact with the puck. If he didn't score it, there's nothing to review.
Oh, yeah, he waits. It really looks, Brick, as if Iginla waits and then comes laterally and taps it in. Chris Lee signals it's a valid goal. So Milan Lucic makes it back-to-back Gordie Howe hat tricks for members of the Bruins. Chara and Lucic, 2 of the banner players on this team.
There's just no denying, though, when you do things right in your own zone, you're going to create some offense at the other end more often than not. With your offense in motion, in rhythm, when the execution is good, tape to tape, the decision-making, the right choices are being made. It's no coincidence that you really get something going in the offensive end as a result.
Pye grabs James Wisniewski, who gets spun around and down, and on they go. Michael Chaput's had a pretty quiet night. Thornton ahead to Pye. Pye can't get past Wisniewski. Chaput knocks it off glass back to center. Campbell, Torrey Krug regroups as Columbus is in the middle of a change. Krug tries to catch the Blue Jackets with their feet standing still. Ryan Murray in the corner against Pye. Anisimov makes the pivot, the pass under the stick of Jack Skilling. Boychuk, the quick re-entry as the Bruins are in the middle of a line change. Boychuk right on goal, and McElhaney almost knocked it in as Boychuk made the play from forward of the goal line. Calvert in front of the Zamboni door as Chara bangs him. Skilly on the far side. It chips off the dasher. Boychuk to the near boards. Eriksson can't clear. Anisimov into Eriksson. Here's Bergeron with Marchand. 3-on-2. Marchand's shot off the post. And the rebound comes past Eriksson and Bergeron. Marchand had a clean look, a clean shot.
Boston goal scorer by number
Round post, he hit it square.
Shot blocked by by Bergeron, and all one motion when that puck lands in front of him. He chips it to himself indirect off the wall in the neutral zone and delivers again. A nice pass, tape to tape, and allows Marchand that one motion. Collect, cradle it, shoot off that back foot. He's manipulating to the stick side, but he catches the inside of the post and stays out.
After considerable delay, they have announced the goal as belonging to Milan Lucic from David Krejci and Jerome Iginla. Saying that Iginla made no contact with the puck before he crossed the goal line. Adam McQuaid returning after crumpling down on an earlier shift a couple of minutes ago.
Yeah, he made contact with Atkinson. Atkinson gave a little shove back, and he went down a little awkward.
Johnson D to Tooten. Better Tooten winds it out of his own end, gives back to Johnson. Banks the pass under Johansson's stick. Johansson was excellent last night, but not having a good one this evening. Soderberg body to body with Tooten. Johnson shoves Kelly. Boone Jenner stick handles into the boards. And here's Soderberg cutting off the half wall, gets off the backhand, and McElhenney makes the stick stop. Kelly tries to send the pass to Chara. Johansson picks it off. Serpentine route through the neutral zone, gains the Boston line. The snapshot blocked by Hamilton. Hamilton upends Johansson, who goes heavily into the end boards. And Columbus will be on the power play as Hamilton goes for tripping.
Now, Kelly tried to go back to the point from deep in the offensive zone, had his stick chopped by Tooten. That led to the turnover, and then even though Hamilton defends well initially to block the shot and deny Johansson any kind of real good scoring chance, Johansson's able to step behind him, and that stick gets in between the legs. Down he goes.
Just one shot on goal during the first power play for Columbus tonight. Letestu and Krejci on the faceoff.
Boston penalty
Chara
number
shoves the
27,
puck
Dougie
past
Hamilton.
Wisniewski.
Time of the penalty, 4 minutes and
James
59
Wisniewski leading
seconds.
Columbus with 8 power play assists. Here comes the 20-year-old rookie Ryan Murray to James Wisniewski along the red line. Anisimov's shot through Boychuk goes well wide. Campbell can't get underneath Letestu. Wisniewski to the middle of the line. Tosses it to Letestu, who shortens the stick. Cross ice, Murray has to glove it down. Brings it back to Wisniewski. Coxon passes to Letestu, shoves it right into the crease. Anisimov off the iron, and it bounces down to the corner. Murray wrists it around. Campbell bangs Calvert. Chara clears to the line. Wisniewski keeps it in. Boychuk on edge, and that one had some Chinese mustard on it. Up on edge, the puck was curving too.
That was not trying to clear your own zone. That was a shot on goal. Intended.
Wisniewski drops off the pass. Johansson offline. Atkinson has to regroup. Feder Tooten lugs it straight over the spoke beat. Humberger to Johansson. The wrist shot scores! Ryan Johansson's a sniper, and he picks the top corner on the stick side to make it 3-1.
Pretty easy entry for the Columbus Blue Jackets through the neutral zone to walk into the offensive end. Bruins in their formation in center ice. Because Umberg is the stretch forward, McQuaid's with him, but it opens up some space. Columbus is going to take advantage of it. And now Johansson comes a little bit late, gets a little bit of a screen, steps around it. And you get an idea of just how talented this kid is. Even though he's been quiet tonight, you give him an opportunity to shoot the puck like that, he can beat you.
Berg spins the puck to Boychuk. Trouble in front, the puck on the goal line. Lucic turns it away to the boards. Rattles it to the near side. Iginla can't get it deep past Tooten. He swings it D to Johnson. You can see the energy in Columbus's legs. The Blue Jackets are thinking if they get another one in the next couple of minutes, they might just find a way to steal this game. Chara Kane clear the zone. Jack Johnson into Keaton. The backhand into Jenner's legs. Boychuk to Chara to Lucic to Krejci into the attacking zone. McKinley snapshot save McElhinney. Chaput clears to center. Hamilton back to the attacking line. The quick re-entry. Lucic all the way in. And he gets pushed off the puck. Dalton Prout. Prout and Lucic, of course, had that spirited bout a little bit earlier. Skilly in the corner. Moves away from the Hamilton hit, but the puck goes loose. Smith up ahead to Soderberg. He makes the turn. Bounces it wide of McElhinney. Kelly taps the puck low. Needs some off around for Prout. Smith gets position. The pass to Soderberg in the backhand. McElhinney makes the glove save. 12:19 to go in the game. Johansson makes a career high 10th of the season and a near miss to cut it to 1.
Bruins turning defense into offense. It starts with body contact back in their own zone. Dennis Seidenberg right there on Como, and that allows everything else to go into place. Little curl here, little curl up to the wall. This allows Lucic to come all the way across. Just very nice plays all around. Krejci comes deep. He lays it up for Iginla. Lucic comes across. That's how to move the puck. That's how to come out of your own zone. Now you get into the rhythm of the offense. It allows your defense to drive the net. In the case of Dougie Hamilton, that means Lucic rotates back high, and then his drive through a little bit of traffic. Got a pretty good bounce.
Soderberg working the cycle. McQuaid. Now Smith cross ice. Atkinson gets a stick on the pass and knocks it up over the boards. Milan Lucic found another gear at the very tail end of the regular season. Took over Game 7 in the first round against Toronto. Had an outstanding playoff, and he has started the season right where he left off last spring.
Had a lot of conversations with a lot of different people, whether it was players, assistant coaches, head coach, obviously. Even Cam Neely had a little chat with him, trying to get him to where he needed to be mentally, emotionally, physically. And then there was that healthy scratch late in the year, and that might have been the final, okay, you've got my attention. I know what I got to do to be better. Letestu making his way to the penalty box right off the face-off. Bruins again back on the power play. They're going to roll out the Bergeron combination. Smith and Hamilton at the point. Eriksson, Soderberg up front.
Well, it's the 5th time that Columbus is shorthanded tonight. Last night, 7 times shorthanded against Edmonton. And you spend that much time killing off penalties, you don't give yourself too many chances to win the game. They beat a struggling Edmonton team last night, but Boston's been a much different story. Smith at the blue line, throws it in deep. Soderberg trying to get around Johnson. Johnson keeps his position, but Bergeron's there, and Eriksson. 3 men forward to the goal line for the Bruins to try to win the puck along the end boards. Eriksson gets it loose for Bergeron. Bergeron turns it through Teuton's skates. Eriksson taps it alive. Bergeron tries to rip his stick out of Teuton's grasp. Now gets it back to Smith. All that effort paying off here. Hamilton low. For Soderberg to Hamilton. Hamilton's drive with a puck on edge, and it goes off a stick, flips off the referee on the inboards. Eriksson to Bergeron, all the way past the dot. Soderberg trying to pick the corner. He misses wide, and it caroms back to the Boston zone.
What effort by those guys down low on the goal line. And Columbus had all 4 players there trying to outnumber Boston. But a great effort, strong on the stick, and then finally, after yeoman work by all the forwards, they're able to work that puck back to the point.
Brick, last season, so often we heard you say that on the power play, you got to be hungrier than the other guys. It's not just out there finessing it. You got to want it more, too. Still about 20 seconds to go on the power play. Torrey Krug tears away from Matt Calvert with speed. Here's Krejci on the go. Across the middle, looking for Lucic. Krug all the way down to the corner to Lucic, forward to the goal line. Chara posted up near McElhenney. McGinley at the right point. Lucic comes off the half boards. The shot deflected on a stick by Calvert, who's without his stick, so it's a de facto 4-on-3 for a moment. But Letestu's out of the box, chops down on McGinley. Back come the Blue Jackets. 0 shots on goal during the power play. Como off the blocker of Chad Johnson. Wisniewski fakes the shot. The wrist shot goes off of Seidenberg, who was getting knocked down in the process and made the block. Lucic wants to keep possession, careful while the Campbell line gets on the ice, and then after the delay, throwing it deep.
Yeah, go a little east-west. You don't have to go north in that situation. You're trying to bide time, allow the change to happen.
Thornton turns and fires, and a save by McElhenney. 9:22 to go in the game. The Bruins up 3-1. The goal scorers 2 by Lucic and 1 by Bergeron. The Forest trivia question. Which Bruins defenseman was traded to the Panthers for Nathan Horton and Gregory Campbell in 2010? Visit NESN.com/TheForest for the answer and enter to win a $50 gift certificate that can be used at the Forest Restaurant and Sports Bar in Boston, Quincy, or Norwell. Well, we'll see him in about a week and a half, won't we? Campbell, Paille, Thornton. Paille fires off of Prout's stick to the end board. Thornton collects his stick, and it got knocked out of his hand right after the faceoff. Dalton Prout, one way then the other, goes indirect off the end boards. Nikita Nikitin, the soft pass ahead for Calvert. He pirouettes, and Chaput picks it up, throws it in deep. McQuaid takes the hit from Calvert. It caroms past Paille. Calvert spins it middle. Seidenberg one-hands it to the line. Chaput keeps it in for a moment. Thornton with an explosion of speed up the wing. Prout comes over and bangs hard against him. Campbell wiggles it right in front. Skilly muscles the puck out of the zone. And Boychuk ahead for Paille. Paille drops the shoulder, but he can't get through Umberger's stick. Umberger collects Nikitin's pass in the neutral zone. Bergeron makes him fight for every inch. Johansson in the slot. But again, Bergeron following him all the way back. Boychuk in front of the Zamboni doors. Johansson and Umberger trying to rake it free. Boychuk back of the Boston goal to Char to Marchand. He sees the hit from Johnson coming. Takes the hit to clear the zone.
Yeah, it looked worse than it was, too. He was prepared for the hit. Loved how low he came to shorten that passing route from Zdeno Chara in order to get that puck out of their own end.
Boychuk up to Kelly. He redirects it into the right wing corner. Curtis McElhenney taps the puck along. And Cam Atkinson races out of his own zone. Has to pull up with Soderberg blocking the way. Columbus changes while Hamilton sends Riley Smith up the off wing. Smith right across the goal mouth, and it goes all the way through Seidenberg in a traffic jam with Soderberg. This bounces all the way back to Seidenberg. Wrists it down to Smith, who controls it off his skates. Wisniewski scrapes it away. Wisniewski pivots out of Kelly's reach.
Thank God there's a Smith and a Kelly out there.
Seidenberg, Soderberg, Torrey Krug, and Corey Trupp. Irish wristwatch toy boat. What's next? Hamilton. Here's a Ginla's wrist shot, and it's off Como's stick. And that's another one that gets over the high protective netting. That one goes about 25 rows up. Audi Performance Play brought to you by your local New England Audi dealers. Experience Audi Quattro all-wheel drive tonight.
Power play goal. Milan Lucic extended the Bruins lead to 2. He locks up with Dalton Prout. Great bout. 2 big guys going at it. Got the crowd really into it. Second goal of the night, Lucic again. That was a great breakout initially. And then the Bruins get the puck into the offensive zone. Hamilton drives to the net. Lucic rotates out high. Takes that feed again, the one-timer feed from Krejci.
Boychuk taps to Krug. Krug's drive, saved by McElhenney.
Get an inside perspective into the world of Bruins players, coaches, and management with Behind the B, presented by Alex and Ani. Tune in for episode 5 this Tuesday at 8 p.m. right here on NESN. Missed any of the previous episodes? Stream them online wherever, whenever you want by using the Bruins mobile app or visiting Boston Bruins TV or bostonbruins.com/behindtheb.
Calvert. Lucic anticipates and picks off the pass near the blue line. Boychuk guns it in. Nikitin knocks the puck off the boards, but he can't get it out as Krug jabs against Skilly. Skilly flips the puck into the benches, and the faceoff is going to be in the Columbus zone.
Now, this is a situation right now with a 3-1 lead. You've been the dominant team. Columbus has less than 15 shots total in the hockey game. But you're not out of the woods yet. You got to keep playing. 6:43 to go, third period. You want them to be 7 strong minutes here, playing the way you want to play. All good habits.
Lucic. Now McQuaid fires it on McElhinney, and he has to make another save. Well, the Bruins have denied their opponents the opportunities for the most part. 14 shots on goal with 6.5 to go in this one. And yesterday for the Rangers, just 19 shots on goal in the full 60 minutes. Johnson's backhand. Corey Tropp trips over the blue line. And Nisimov seems to have some trouble. I wonder if there's an irregularity down there. There's Paille tapping to Thornton. The snapshot, he had some steam on that. McElhinney has to make a save. There's Anisimov. Over the center circle, Tropp onto the right wing boards. Humberger skates right past the puck. Anisimov spinning. It comes through Tropp to Tootin, bouncer. And he tumbles it into the corner. Chara picks up the puck. Columbus changes out. The Bruins get fresh personnel on the ice as well. Patrice Bergeron, Louis Eriksson, and Brad Marchand the line. Seidenberg and Hamilton the defensive pairing. And this is offside. 5:42 to go in the game. Bruins up 3-1 on the Columbus Blue Jackets. So we'll see you then. The game report brought to you by the all-new Sierra. That's professional grade. Ryan Johansson giving Columbus life and hope. But the Bruins have had a pretty solid effort this evening.
Yeah, they really have. You heard Dougie Hooter. If you did hear Dougie Hooter between periods saying didn't like the way they played the middle stanza, got away from what they had been doing in the first period. Maybe you get that sense of this is going to be an easy game when you dominate the opening 20 minutes the way the Bruins did. But they've gotten back to work here in the third period, despite the power play goal by Johansson.
Wisniewski slices one cross ice for Johansson. He taps to Ryan Murray. Murray goes all the way to the corner, centering pass. 2 chances. Johnson got a piece of one of them. Wisniewski was coming in the back door, and Johansson and Murray connected on a play that sent the puck into a very precarious position for Boston.
Well, they got the best D pair out there right now, down by a pair with Murray and Wisniewski. Certainly the most potent. And Murray's going to jump into this play with nice timing, and Wisniewski's going off that far post. Marchand in coverage, but he got a step on him. And then you got Johansson, who's their best player in the lineup right now, centering that line. So I guess no surprise if they're going to generate some offense, it would be with that group in that situation.
Anisimov wins it cleanly. Nikitin's shot goes off Smith's skates and up into the protective netting. The hard hits of today's game brought to you by Timberland Pro. The Bruins brought the physical style to the first period, and it made a difference.
It really did. Zdeno Chara again, very much involved. McQuaid, there was that hit right there we talked about with on Atkinson with a pushback by Atkinson. Marchand taking a hit to clear his own zone. Those are the hits that you actually enjoy taking if there is such a thing. When you make the right play, and even though it doesn't show up on the score sheet, your teammates appreciate it.
McElhinney taps the puck away from Soderberg. Now Prout under pressure from Smith. Calvert loops the puck up into the neutral zone. Zdeno Chara cross ice for Smith. crowd restive because there are several spectators who cannot control themselves. Have decided to try to get a little bit more involved than they should be, perhaps. Chara turning the goal. Up past the red line and rattles off Lucic's stick. Iginla in the corner against Johnson. Lucic goes over to add a number. Cannot keep possession of the puck. Como loops the backhand up for Umberger. Umberger turns the skates, throws it to the near post. Johnson past the dot. Swerves against Lucic. The dart to Teuton. Teuton intentionally wide. Seidenberg picks up the carom. Dougie Hamilton now has the puck. On edge, wraps it into Iginla's skates. Umberger keeps it alive, and Iginla wipes out that hope and knocks it through the neutral zone. Here comes Ryan Johansson. Stick handles into Paille. He's run himself out of ground a couple of times tonight. Hamilton whips the pass to Seidenberg. Seidenberg indirect for Campbell. He gains the line. Now takes the shot. It's off the stick of Johnson. Paille, the backhand to Thornton, cycling out of the corner. Thornton turns it back down the boards. Teuton turns it over to Boychuk as Columbus fails to make a play out of its own end. The Bruins' good habits here late in the third.
Yeah, well described. They're just not making plays coming out of their own zone, and now they're going to be shorthanded with some from behind stick work.
Boone Jenner here.
Following Bruins coverage, stay with NESN and join Jamison Coyle and Adam Pellerin for NESN Sports Today, presented by People's United Bank. They'll have more on the Bruins, all the latest from Hockey East, and a preview of the Patriots and Texans. Get caught up on the latest in sports tonight after post-game coverage.
So Columbus is going to have to take some chances here. Blue Jackets have scored 3 shorthanded goals this season. That's the good news. The bad news is that 2 of them have come from their captain, Brandon Dubitsky, who's got a foot injury and isn't dressed time. Wisniewski hammers it to the blue line. Smith keeps it in for the moment before Letestu.
Time of the penalty is 16 minutes 54
Bergeron
seconds.
finds Hamilton. Soderberg skating to the far side. Hamilton gains the line. Backhands it off the boards in deep. Wisniewski fights the puck back to the corner. Bergeron to Hamilton, quickly to Smith. Through the seam, Soderberg shot into the legs of Ryan Murray. Hamilton again quickly to Smith. Bergeron giving him his stick. Smith all the way across to Eriksson. Hamilton to Eriksson. Down low, Soderberg tries to feather it across to Smith, but it gets deflected. Hamilton picks up the puck, banks it for Riley Smith, switches with Bergeron. The pass under Hamilton's forehand and back to center. 1:05 to go in the Boston power play and only 2:10 to go in the game. David Krejci with speed going wide against Atkinson. Krejci pulls up on the half boards, back to Krug. Steers it over to Iginla. Iginla to the circle to Lucic to Krug. The drive saved by McElhinney with Chara on the doorstep.
Yeah, good puck movement by both units. First unit, Riley Smith made a couple of nice plays from that left point position. Once again, Lucic not just staying in that power eye, comes over to the flank, makes himself available, and that quick pass back to Krug at the point. That opens up the lane for the shot to the net. And Chara's right there looking for the redirect. Looked like he got a little piece of it.
Yep. Tipped it up, but right into the webbing. Calvert, trouble from McKinley. Krug snaps the pass right along the line to Krejci. Krejci down low for Lucic. It's off Teuton's stick. Krug gloves it forward, and then he has to get the next touch, or it would have come back outside the zone. Krejci into Iginla's skates. Krejci gloves the puck down, tries to slip it back, but it's off Johansson to center. Krejci tosses the puck to Lucic. Lucic powering through the corner. It slides up the boards. Iginla. Lucic bangs Johnson. Iginla pokes it away from Atkinson. Penalty about to expire Umberger's stick shatters on contact with Chara. He gets new lumber as he crosses in front of the bench. It's back to 5-on-5.
1 minute remaining
Final
in the
minute
period.
of the game. Lucic sends Umberger stumbling toward the boards. No boarding call on that.
You can't get a penalty just for being strong.
Although followers of Zdeno Chara might differ with you. Net empty. Anisimov gains the Boston line. Anisimov works it all the way through down the slot. Seidenberg gets up off his knees and hoists it out. And it rolls on edge, but Murray will track it down. 25 seconds to go. Seidenberg turns to his corner. 15 seconds to go in the game. This will be the fewest shots on goal allowed in a game this season by the Bruins. 8 games in 13 days, and they go 6-1-1. Finishing it off with a 3-1 win over the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Nice response in the third period. Did they need any more motivation other than to finish off this stretch of games, this part of the schedule, this month, in the fashion that they wanted to, played their style of hockey, certainly in the third period, definitely in the first period, a game that they definitely should have won, which they did, and they've done the work through the first 2 months to put themselves in a favorable spot.
They only passed the eye test with flying colors, and they can look forward to a couple of days with no hockey game.